What's up, everybody, and welcome to my TNA Impact Wrestling review. As a lot of big things happened tonight, New York City on the show, kicking it off with Bobby Roode versus MVP in a Falls Count Anywhere match. MVP wasn't almost going to come out because MVP is still injured, and Kurt Angle said you had to go out there and fight. Bobby Roode went back there and get him, and pretty much it was mostly a brawl with both MVP and Bobby Roode fighting each other throughout the arena, throwing each other in the chairs. MVP doing what he could with his leg to walk on in the fight, and Kenny King tried to come help, but Eric Young came out to get rid of Kenny King and fought him in the back, and pretty much MVP was coming back with chair shots. Then he pretty much came back at Bobby Roode, taking him out. He's about to hit the drive. What's that kick called? That play is with that drive back kick or mafia kick on Bobby Roode right on that chair, but pretty much Roode dodged it. He kicked MVP in the leg, and he hit a sharpshooter on him, pretty much winning the match, then beating MVP. I'm surprised MVP is able to do a match this long with a torn meniscus, and he's still walking on crutches and somehow making it. But I'm surprised. I don't know how he's doing it this long. Dixie Carter was in the back talking about this is her building and she's gonna take down Dreamer and Team 3D. Dreamer's gonna be over her dead body. Then she's gonna take those guys down. Jeff Hardy came out and he talked about Willow, and Kurt Angle asked him, just get rid of Willow for a while, and he agreed, and he brought Jeff Hardy back. And he talked about the future of TNA, and he talked about last week when he had that match with Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Title, saying that Jeff Hardy's back and made him realize that this is the future and they need to bring something back into TNA. So he brought out his brother Matt Hardy. Pretty much the Hardy Boys were back then. Matt and Jeff. People were happy to see both the Hardy Boys back in TNA, which I haven't seen both of them in TNA since like 2011, I think, or 12. And pretty much Matt talked about actions speak louder than words, and it was a few years ago. Matt Hardy was really hurt. Matt Hardy was on the verge of death. He was, he was looking bad, but he's healthy now. Matt Hardy is back, and pretty much he thanked his brother, and they said if there's one thing people want to see, they want to see the Hardy Boys become tag team champions one more time. So he pretty much called out the Wolves then. And pretty much Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards came out when the people started chanting Young Bucks, and pretty much he said the Hardy Boys have done a lot in wrestling, and they're gonna prove that they're the best of all time and beat the Hardy Boys, and the tag team titles are gonna be out the line next week at Destination X. So that's about to happen with those guys, with the Hardys and the Wolves, which I'm going to say this is going to be a very interesting match that people are going to get finally a chance to see on TV, which I'm very excited to see the Hardy Boys going against the Wolves. Now, they can keep Matt Hardy in TNA. They need to give him, I know Matt Hardy's in Ring of Honor, but they need to give Matt Hardy a contract and sign him to TNA Wrestling. People want to see the Hardy Boys back doing this. I don't know what the match is, but I'm ready to see this match. The bromance came out, which pretty much Robbie E was back after he was, doing the Amazing Race, and where that a lot of people's contracts got renewed anyway, from him to Brooke Tessmacher and Sonata I've read about, and pretty much DJ Z and all of them were talking like, I'm the greatest X-Division champion, the king of New York, and I don't know, the bromance just talk about all of themselves, and pretty much DJ Z had to go against Low-Key, which I don't know what Low-Key was wearing, but Low-Key was back in TNA. It was good to see him. I didn't know Low-Key. I thought Low-Key retired from wrestling last time I read. But Low-Key's back, and pretty much he went against DJ Z and won the match. So it was a pretty much good match. I wish it would have went longer just to see whatever Low-Key has to dish out next. Because I don't know why he doesn't have a contract with TNA. They should have signed him back like 2-3 years ago, and they did that Destination X thing and had got the 6-sided ring back. But they need to get him back. They need to get Low-Key back. He can still do stuff. But also EC3 was talking about he's from the mean streets of Boca Ranch and pretty much Rhino and them. talking about street fights, and nobody's here to break up a street fight. So I tell Dixie Carter and King Mo, which hasn't done anything in 2 years ever since he was signed to TNA back in 2012, which he was signed to MMA also. So he is doing both. And pretty much Dixie Carter brought up the fight he had with Rampage Jackson, how he lost because it was in Rampage's hometown. I still want to see what King Mo is going to do in the ring now. It's been 2 years. Last time we saw King Mo was like back at Bound for Glory 2012 when he was just a special enforcer. And we know he signed. I didn't know he was still signed with TNA, him or Rampage Jackson, but they're still signed with TNA Wrestling, surprisingly. But King Mo is here, and pretty much King Mo is here tonight, and I'm surprised. And next, pretty much was then Anderson and Gunner pretty much didn't trust Sam. Well, Anderson didn't trust Sam Shaw since he was here tonight, and pretty much Anderson and Gunner had to go against Magnus and Bram. Everybody went along with Mr. Anderson's entrance, and pretty much as the match went on, Magnus and Bram won the match, pretty much pinning Anderson with that. I forgot what the move was called, some type of, I forgot what it was called, like the spine something. Magnus pretty much pinned Anderson, and pretty much they brawled in the ring then. Bram had got a weapon. He got a wrenched in until Sam Shaw came for the save and pretty much put himself as a shield for Gunner as he got beat with that pipe-like object. And pretty much then Abyss's music hit. Him and Bram brawled in the ring until he choked. Pretty much threw him out of the ring, and so Abyss hit threw Bram out of the ring. Bully Ray was in the back talking about he can't sleep at night. Pretty much, he's tired of Dixie Carter. He's gonna rid this woman of the wrestling business. They promises all of the fans. He promises the fans. He says, and pretty much he promised the fans. I'm sorry, hold on a minute. Sorry about that. He pretty much promised the fans he was gonna get rid of Dixie Carter and take her out, and because pretty much he had his friends with him tonight. Pretty much it was Team 3D and Tommy Dreamer versus EC3, Rockstar Spud and Rhino in a street fight tonight. Kurt Angle came out. Option C. It's all on Austin Aries' decision that he cash in the X Division title, and pretty much says, do you want to cash it in to become get a title shot? And pretty much MVP and Bobby Lashley came out then. Pretty much talking about Austin Aries. MVP was mostly speaking, talking about Austin Aries. Yeah, you're a good wrestler, and all the high fly tricks aren't gonna work because Bobby Lashley is stronger, he's meaner, and pretty much he will take you out and destroy you. And Aries pretty much told MVP that's enough talk, and pretty much he's made up option. He started option C. He's going to cash in the title. He can do it anytime. He says he knows Lashley is bigger and stronger than him, but he doesn't have the heart of a champion, he says. And so he's going to beat Bobby Lashley next week for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Aries is ready, and he gave Kurt Angle the title, and he says next week it's on. Title is on the line. And he's going to continue this legacy, he says, with cashing in the X Division title. And pretty much Bobby Lashley said you just made the biggest mistake of your life. So next week, world title on the line. Lashley and Austin Aries. Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. I had to make sure everything was clear. Yeah. Moving on. Gail Kim versus Terrence Terrell for the Knockouts title, the rubber match, since each of them have a win from last year against each other. This was for a rubber match, and this was for the title that was on the line. And pretty much both women went against each other, which was actually again a really good match until the beautiful people came out and pretty much jumped them in, which I was really hoping to see this title match. He was going to win because they were both almost equal in the ring, so people really get into it and the crowd was going nuts for it, but pretty much disqualification. The Great Muta came out. As he pretty much made his entrance, Robbie E came out, says, who is this guy, the not so great Muta? And pretty much said he was going to challenge him right now. Pretty much Robbie E tried to attack the Great Muta, and pretty much when the ref looked around, the Great Muta spit the green mist in Robbie E's eyes. Pretty much hit that Dragon Whip throw and did a Shining Wizard winning the match. And after that, James Storm's music hit. Storm came out and said, who are you? Saying, think you're the Great Muta, you're a fraud, you're nobody around here. You may got Sonata food, but you're just trying to come steal his spot. He built he said he built TNA, and in Tennessee we don't spit mist, he spit beer. He pretty much spit beer in the Great Muta's face and start beating him up, and then beat up some other Japanese wrestler that was with him. And then Sonata came out, pretty much hitting the save with a steel chair as Great Muta got up, pretty much doing this, then spitting red mist in the air. Where do you get the green then the red mist from? And pretty much after that, Sonata hit him in the back with a chair, heel turn, and spit pretty much the mist in his face, then taking down the other Japanese wrestler, and then hitting the moonsault on him. Pretty much then going up to bow into James Storm, which was surprised to see that happen. Now, I don't know what the Great Muta does nowadays other than in Japan, pretty much manage wrestling. I hear he can still go and he's still wrestling in Japan, so they say he still got it. We saw him at Lockdown and he did really good earlier this year in that 6-man tag, so I want to see what else he's going to do now if he fights James Storm in that, the Great Muta. Dixie Carter and King Mo were in the crowd pretty much talking about how she helped Tommy Dreamer 4 years ago try to revive this company in 3 letters she didn't want to say, which are just a bunch of hardcore has-beens making the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view 4 years ago. And what were they gonna do? They were gonna do nothing, pretty much, in that they were gonna get destroyed tonight. And pretty much then 6-man street fight, the Team 3D and Team 3D and Tommy Dreamer versus EC3, Rockstar Spud, and Rhino, which was a lot of mostly ECW chants most of the time, and a lot of hardcore stuff, steel chairs, trash cans, steel grates, kendo sticks, everything, pretty much beating the living crap out of each other until it was time to get the tables then. And pretty much these 2 guys in black hoodies pretty much attack. I wonder who they are. And then one of them in the ring slammed on the ground until Taz said, that's Ezekiel Jackson's in TNA. And then the other guy is Gene Snitsky. And I'm looking around like Gene Snitsky and Ezekiel Jackson are in TNA wrestling. I didn't see that coming. Pretty much after that, they beat up everybody in the ring, and pretty much EC3 and Rhino hit the gore on Tommy Dreamer, and he got the win. So I think he got the win on him, or EC3 got the pin. Pretty much they beat all of them up after that with weapons, slammed them all over the place, choke slamming them, and pretty much they ended the show with Dixie Carter and all of them standards. Whatever her new stable is now, EC3, Rhino, Rockstar Spud, King Mo, and Ezekiel Jackson. And Ezekiel Jackson and Gene Snitsky. I'm very surprised to see these guys in this company now. What's going to happen with them? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But once again, you know, it's me, A-Show-L-D, going to news and reviews. You know I am, you know I do. The show where I go, we're doing this today. And Destination X is next week on TNA. So I'm out here. See you guys later, and we'll talk about the show. Peace.